What's going on, guys? This is the MMA Complex. My name is Josh,
And I'm James.
and it is a Friday evening. It's December 7th, 2018. Friday night, the night before UFC 231, Ortega versus Holloway. Weigh-ins happened earlier today. Everybody looked good. You caught the weigh-ins. What was your feel on the main event, co-main event?
Yeah, I saw the actual weigh-ins and I caught this the 4 o'clock the
The
regular
ceremonial
weigh-ins.
weigh-ins? Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I think I was like I think everyone else. I was nervous for Max Holloway. I was hoping he'd make weight, but he looked good. Like, he didn't look like he was drained. He didn't look like he was depleted or anything. He
Yeah.
looked healthy, and Ortega never has trouble making weight. He looks healthy as well, and I don't know. It's gonna be an exciting fight. I think Max Holloway is a little bit bigger of a fighter, but I think both guys look confident. It's a hard fight to pick, but we'll deal with that 5 picks at the end of the show.
Yeah. Yeah, so they weighed in today. Now they did look even on the scales and just facing off, which is weird because we met both of them in person, and they look significantly like different in size in person. Like, it's just weird, but when you watch them on camera and you watch them on the weigh-ins, they're almost similar size, which I don't know how that is, but yeah, I mean, they both look good.
Taller, yeah.
They both look good. Max is taller. He's a solid 145er. I mean, I don't even know how he makes that weight. Ortega's, you could tell Ortega could probably make a 145 when you meet him in person. But again, it's Max is so big. I don't understand how he makes that weight, but they look pretty good. I'm excited. We'll get to the 5 picks at the end of the show. Aside from that, we've been off for a little while. Took about 2 weeks off. A lot of fights happened in between that time. We had Curtis Blades, Francis Ngannou. That ended in the first round. Did not expect it to go out that quick, but feel bad for Curtis Blades in that one. Then you had Golden Boy Liddell versus Ortiz 3. We could touch on that real quick. What'd you think about that, man?
Oh, I mean, I can't say I was surprised by the outcome. I thought Liddell would bring more of a fight. I actually had him win that fight just because of their history.
Yeah.
With the 2 fights prior to that one. But Liddell, I mean, at the open workouts, look bad, but it's kind of hard to like judge somebody off the workouts because most guys just play possum when it comes to the open workouts like that. But when it came to the actual fight, and Liddell just seemed really flat-footed. He seemed hesitant to throw a punch. He looked like he was lost out there. He looked like he's been out of the cage for 8 years. Tito, although he's past his prime, he's been an active fighter since. So he looked comfortable in there, and
Yeah.
I think we could both agree that if there's a time to beat Liddell, it would be that time. And kudos to Tito. He took advantage of it, and he finally got that victory that he's been long waiting for.
Yeah. He looked good. Again, he's done the necessary things to stay in the game and to evolve with the sport as best as he could. I think he's done it pretty well. He's been active. And then you look at Liddell, been out for almost 9-10 years, something like that, around that time.
Almost a decade, yeah.
And it showed. He looked tentative. He looked like he was afraid, gun shy, and Tito made him look like an amateur. Tito was like, baiting him to come in and get into an exchange. And you already knew right then and there. It's like that was it. I wonder what was going through Chuck's mind. Like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, Tito's
Yeah, it just seemed like after a few exchanges, I think Tito knew already that he had this fight won. So he did.
Yeah.
He did stuff that he would never normally do, like engage in a fist fight and encourage the Liddell to go toe to toe with them. That was 10 years ago. That wouldn't happen.
No. I mean, he's trained with Perillo. He's fought in Bellator. He's done what he needed to do, and then call it a day, cap off a career with a win, finally a win over Chuck, a diminished Chuck, but still a win over Chuck. And, right off into the sunset. We'll see if he stays retired. I don't know.
Tito?
Yeah,
Tito made it clear that he wants to just get into the business of promotion,
of it. Mm-hmm.
and he wants to work with De La Hoya. We'll see if that exists. I mean, according to both parties, they still want this to go forward. Um, but I was surprised on the production side. It looked good.
Hmm.
The commentating team was good. Although I thought that Mir and the other guy was kind of giving too much credit to the guys.
Was it Mir and Thompson?
Thompson, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Was
then it was Rashad Evans.
Rashad Evans, huh?
And it seemed like Rashad Evans was the guy that's being truthful and honest about how he felt about the main event. But the
I
other
mean,
two guys were kind of egging the Dow to continue to fight.
yeah, and Rashad's fought both of them. I mean, I'm sure he's reflecting on his own career and where he's at, and knowing it's time for him to hang it up already. So,
Hmm.
like, watching two guys who are way past their prime, not willing to necessarily hang it up just yet. So it's just like he's seeing it from a different perspective than the other two fighters.
Yeah, leading up to the fight, I was asking myself, like, I wonder if Tito's going to bring up his own injuries again at some point. And
He
sure
always does,
enough,
man.
man, he brought up his neck injury and his fused disc. And I said, oh my God, this guy is never going
Yeah,
to stop with his fused disc and
yeah,
his back. But I was wondering if he was going to bring it up because I think prior to that, he was saying that he's healthy, he feels good. And then I said, maybe he's not going to bring it up. And yeah, he sure brought it up.
he brought it up, man. Yeah,
It's like his go-to.
I mean the fight overall, I think only did like 25,000 pay-per-views. It
That's
did like
bad.
half the attendance gate. It was not necessarily the greatest night for De La Hoya and the start for his MMA promotion side. I think he might try to do it again, but you know,
I mean, I'm surprised that it got that high. I think for me, 25,000 is a lot.
and also I think we talked about it. It seemed like there was no buzz going on since it announced. They had the press conference. At that point, I heard a lot of people talking, and then afterwards, like the months and weeks, especially the weeks leading up, nothing. It was like dead silent. There was nobody talking about it.
I think really that press conference really hurt them bad. I
Yeah,
think it gave them a bad image, and people were
especially for
kind of
Oscar.
laughing at them.
Hmm.
And it just. And then I think people saw that and how the other fighters were on the card just sitting there looking like dummies, just sitting there.
Yeah,
I think it painted a bad picture, and people weren't interested in that fight.
yeah. And then you had a few other fights since then. Last weekend we had Bellator 211, Sakar versus Kopin. You had UFC Fight Night 142. You had Dos Anjos versus Usman. Some great fights there. Usman showing that he's capable of defeating some of the best in the division. Dos Anjos is not. I don't know what's going on with Dos Anjos. I don't know if it's a switch in camps. I don't know if it's just like the wrestlers he's fighting, but he's not looking too good. So that was that Friday night, and then Saturday you had Tuivasa against JDS, and then you had Shogun versus Tyson Pedro. Um, Good card, I guess. On for Saturday, I thought it was a great card.
Yeah, it was a fun card, man. And the old dogs won
Yeah,
that night. Because the UFC kind of like I think the UFC had in mind these two young guns. We're going to put them as a showcase fight against two veterans have been the best fighters
yeah,
in the past years. But Shogun's one of those guys who kind of like refuses to go away. Like you think he's going to go away, and then his next fight he just blows your mind. But
yeah.
I think that before he lost against Anthony, he was on a 3-fight win streak. So he's been doing pretty good in his last 5 fights.
Mm-hmm.
He's been 5-1, which is
5-1,
not
something like
bad
that.
at all. Or 4-1,
For one.
which is not bad at all. And he looked good. I mean, I think uh, he won by luck. I think
In a lot of ways,
in a lot of ways, yeah. But I mean,
because Tyson Pedro did suffer a knee injury in the fight. You had
and he
a
had him hurt. He had
yeah,
Shogun hurt against that cage, and he was throwing bombs in
yeah,
that clinch.
yeah. I mean, Shogun's still, it's still a struggle for him to get through these fights because he's fighting a lot of guys that are young, fresh, hungry, strong contenders, and he's kind of maintaining his level of athleticism in a way. He's not as quick and as in shape
Well
as he
defined,
used to
yeah.
be, well defined. He's got more of a dad bod going on, and his style hasn't really developed. He hasn't really altered his style in any way, it's Shogun. You know what you're getting when you fight Shogun,
Yeah,
which is difficult in its own. But he's done fairly well in terms of just pressing forward and keep on going. And if he loses or whatever, if you get a couple wins, suffer a big loss, get a couple wins. So he's done pretty well. He's like 46. No, he's 36, 37 now.
he's probably like 16 or 100 in fight years. But
Yeah.
like you look at Shogun's career, and he's done pretty much everything that a fighter can do in a span of career. Um, it makes you wonder why he's still fighting. I mean, it's not like he's gonna get a title shot or he's
No.
gonna win the title.
No.
Um,
But you never know in this
I mean,
division. This division is very shallow right now, so
yeah,
I wouldn't be
but
surprised.
John Jones and those guys are on the top.
Oh, he's not going to win the title.
Yeah.
but
But I'm saying, most fighters are in the game to win a title, or some fighters are in the game to get paid well.
Yeah.
I don't think Shogun's getting paid well. I think
Not-
he's getting paid decent. So why fight?
Why fight? Yeah.
I mean, I think after this fight, you should just. But it's kind of hard to say that because a lot of fighters, it's an addiction for them to keep fighting. But
It'd be nice to see him transition to like maybe a commentating team.
or work for the Brazilian side of Like kind of like Verdum did.
Yeah, go to like a just follow like the Verdum's route. Go that way. Join the commentating team. I'm sure he seems like he could be a good talker.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be a good transition for him. I just hope.
Because I don't want to see him get it. Like he's a super nice guy.
Yeah, and I don't want to see him go the Chuck route.
Oh
I guess.
yeah.
That's the thing you don't want to see, the Chuck route.
Because like when I was seeing him getting hit like that, I said, "Oh my god!" It was hard for me to watch that fight.
It's gonna get to a point where he's in a like it's
become really uncomfortable.
It's gonna really uncomfortable to watch him fight. That's where BJ Penn's at right now.
I don't know.
I don't understand.
That guy, that's a head scratcher. If you tell me,
I don't understand how they even keep booking him. I really don't. I don't know how they keep booking BJ fighting. I think he's fighting in January.
They need to just release him. But then if you do that, someone's like a Bellator is gonna pick him.
Yeah, because if he wants to fight, they're gonna pick him up. Bellator's gonna pick up BJ Penn. Why wouldn't they pick up BJ Penn or even Ryzen or like a ONE FC might even pick him up? But I don't understand why he's fighting. He's a great talker. He should transition to like maybe a commentating team. If not, join some other news outlet like in ESPN outlet or anywhere that just talks MMA. Come on here, dude. Do something. Don't stop. Get out of the octagon already.
Yeah, but he's a lot like Chuck. Like I think when he watches fights, he gets that itch and he wants to.
Yeah.
He lies to himself and he makes himself believe that he can be a champion in 2018, which is far from the truth.
That's the hard. Yeah, that's the hard part. That's the part that you gotta like that all the fighters have to battle through.
You gotta just rely on people that are close to him to tell him, hey, you gotta stop doing this.
Yeah,
or else you're gonna have brain damage in about 10 years.
Talk about stop doing this. Have you heard the news of Randy Couture's sex tape?
Oh, there's one.
There's a sex tape out there.
Oh my god, with who?
I don't know. Some random chick. I haven't seen it. I feel weird saying that. Like I'm curious about watching it.
I can't picture him having sex.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, there's a Randy Couture sex tape out there. I have not seen it. I don't know. Actually, I don't know where to find it. I'm sure you can find it online somewhere. But I think it was probably reported by TMZ. It was reported by all outlets. But it's obviously it's Randy Couture. Who really is there? It's not like it's. Kim Kardashian came out with another sex tape. This is gonna.
Oh, she did? I didn't know that.
No, she didn't.
Oh, she didn't.
I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
I don't. It's not like she came out with another sex tape. It's not like.
Oh yeah.
It's not like Hulk Hogan saying the N word. You know what I'm saying? It's like this is.
Have you ever seen Hogan's sex tape?
I have seen Hogan's
sex
tape.
So funny. Because I guess he's like his little hair that he has is going up and down.
Yeah, I seen what he got in trouble for. Have you seen that? There's a documentary on Netflix about money. No, it's
I think Wei and John, Wei Ting and John Pollock are good friends that were at the postwrestling.com.
Yeah.
They reviewed it.
It's a really good documentary, and like his case is like at the center of it, and it's just the money. Like I think it was Gawker, the person who got he had an issue with Gawker, is this billionaire. I forgot his name. I think he's the same guy that funded Facebook. But he had an issue with Gawker because they wrote an article on him. So he funded Hulk Hogan's case against Gawker. Like, and the lawyers from Gawker were like, I don't understand how he's still even in this case because money and money runs dry and it's expensive. Um, like he was just getting high priced lawyers and just he was outspending Gawker, and they were confused by it. And then they had to do their own research and found out that uh, this guy was funding Hogan's case, and it revolves around money and billionaires uh, and using press and buying press and kind of like that the whole thing and like the integrity of news and how billionaires like this guy and the Koch brothers kind of like can control what people see and hear because they have so much money. So it's like
Jeez,
it's like all that stuff, and then
it's not going to over
yeah,
you, man.
yeah, and then what you can say. So Hogan's case was like the center of it, but yeah, but Couture, I don't know. If you guys see it, you guys have a review on there, comment somewhere, or like send us a DM or like a link to it because I wouldn't mind catching it. I want reviewing. We could review Couture's sex tape. I don't know.
It's probably just two possession.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so that's out there. I just saw that earlier today. Thought that was pretty crazy. Also, you had Mayweather on Mayweather's fight with Ryzen with Nasukawa got announced officially. Rules have been placed out there. It's at 147 weight, and it's going to be at the New Year's card this year. So,
But is it a professional fight? Or is it an exhibition?
it's an exhibition. It's there's no it's not going on anybody's record. So it's we'll go over the rules right now. Let's see. So the fight's going to be Ryzen's New Year's card, December 31st is Saitama Super Arena in Japan. It's Ryzen 14. It's going to be a full contact competition. The bout's it's not going on anybody's boxing or MMA records, and it's 3-minute rounds. It's a straight boxing rules, traditional boxing rules. Both fighters are going to wear 8-ounce Ryzen gloves. And it's going to be the 147 catch weight. And here's the thing. There's no judges. And it's a full contact competition, and it's going to be boxing rules. That's it. But no judges, not going anywhere. It's not recorded other than filmed.
So when you say full contact, like leg kicks or just
No, it's just straight boxing. No kickboxing, no MMA, 8-ounce gloves, no judging, 3-minute rounds.
there's gonna be a ref there.
I think there's going to be a ref. Yeah. What do you think?
I think it's dumb. I mean, if
Yeah.
I'm going to count on the record, then I'm not interested in seeing it. I mean, I'm not interested, but I really don't care about it. I'll watch it.
Are you curious to see if this kid's going to, maybe give it a go? Like, if it's going to, I'm curious to see how the fight's going to be. I just don't, I think people are going to tell right away if this is like a BS fight, which it's based on the judges and no judges and just the criteria for the fight. People already think it's just a bullshit fight. But when we see it, and let's say what's his name, Nasukawa. Let's say he really goes for it. Would it be interesting? You think it would be interesting? I think we'd be able to tell right away what kind of fight we're going to see. I don't know.
I mean, if he wins, it doesn't do much for anybody because it doesn't count. He's still going to be claimed like he's undefeated.
What if he? Yeah. Well, it's not tarnishing his record, but what if he hurts him? What if he hurts him really bad?
It's a possibility with 8-ounce gloves,
Right?
but I don't see that happening. I mean,
No straight boxing rules.
Mayweather's not going to get hit.
No. It's gonna be interesting though. I don't know. I'm curious to see how the kid's gonna do. If he's really gonna go for it. If it's gonna be some like little pity pat, dancing around fight, bullshit fight for 3 minutes, 3-minute rounds. It's really quick.
I mean,
that's a big.
I think Connor's a better striker than this kid, and
Yeah.
Connor. I mean, he only landed one shot on Mayweather.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know, but that's a fight. That's on the Rising card this week. This month. There's a bunch of footage. You can find a bunch of footage of. If you don't know Nasukawa, you can Look up his highlight reel. It's all out there. They did some open workouts. They
It's great
did a press
for Ryzen though.
conference.
I'll tell you that one.
Oh yeah, it's a great for Ryzen. No one expected it to be like that. No one expected them to get
To land Mayweather, yeah.
Mayweather. I mean, not in a million years. I don't think anybody would have really come up with that. Um, what else? What else happened during this week? Anything else that stood out to you? Matchups, Lineker, Cruz. Who else? There's a couple of the matchups that got announced. Um, not sure. Not sure. There's very little news this week.
Yeah,
But let's get to fight picks. Yeah.
let's do it.
Um, One Championship had their fight this weekend already. You have LFA uh, tonight. That's on Access TV. You have tomorrow. You have Cage Warriors 100. That's on UFC Fight Pass. And tomorrow is the big fight with UFC 231. Holloway versus Ortega. Kicking off the main card. Well, undercard's pretty good. Eric Anders, Elias Theodorou kicking off the prelims on the FS1. Uh, Chukagian versus Jessica I. Mercier versus Burns. Ansaroff versus Claudia Gadelia. That's a good prelim card right there. And then Jim Manuwa, Thiago Santos. Who do you have?
Jimmy.
Jimmy Manuwa? I like Thiago Santos. I think that guy is probably going to take it. Let's see. You have Uchinik versus Dewadu. I'm not familiar with those guys. We're not even going to get to their fight. Gunnar Nelson versus Alex Cowboy Oliveira. Who do you have?
I'll just go with it. I mean, I said it before, so I'll say it again. I'm going with Gunner.
You're going to go with Gunnar? I'm going to go with Alex. Cowboy. I think he might take it. I haven't seen Gunnar in a while. It's going to be interesting to see how this fight goes. I think Alex has been a lot more active. You have Ioana Jędrzejczyk versus Valentina Shevchenko for the vacant women's flyweight title. And today it looked like they made their weights pretty easily, no? Like
both girls.
No, I mean it goes to show you how much weight they were keeping on in their original weight class and going down to this flyweight. They had neither one of them look sunken in. They didn't look like they're weak. They were comfortable.
I mean, both girls are going up in the weight class, so they have a lot of leeway in weight. So I mean, but for this fight, I mean, I like Valentina. I think her and Ioana had a matchup in Muay Thai, and Valentina won. I think this is her moment. She's been waiting for this moment. I think she's gonna shine Saturday night.
Is she gonna shine? I think so. I think Valentina is gonna take it. I think this is her time. I think it's well deserved for either winner. I think it's but I think Shevchenko has definitely earned her shot, and the best opportunity she can get. Main event: Max Holloway, Brian Ortega.
Super excited for this fight. It's like one of the fights I've been looking forward to since it got announced.
Not an easy one to call either.
Yeah, I know Max Holloway's my favorite fighter, my favorite current UFC fighter, MMA fighter. I like Max Holloway in this fight. I think he's a bit more diverse. I think when it comes to Ortega, I think his grappling is really strong and his striking is coming to fruition. I mean, coming to. I like Max. Max, he's a great striker. He's aggressive. He goes forward, and when taken to the ground, his jiu-jitsu and his wrestling is pretty good. And I like him to win and maintain his featherweight championship.
I think so too. I think he most likely will be the favorite. I haven't seen the betting lines. I'm assuming that he's going to be the favorite going into this fight just because he's the defending champ. He's so well rounded. He's so good. He's the bigger fighter. Although Ortega is, a phenom. He's just, he's got the striking. He's got the submission game. Is probably the sickest in the division. And he's just a smart, intelligent fighter. I think this is going to be a good fight. I could see it going the distance. And I could see these guys, having a a pretty good set of fights. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Going like competing against each other for a little
Yeah.
while. You know, so we'll see how this fight goes. I mean, it could be a blowout either way. Um, but I'll probably go with Max. It's hard to bet against Ortega because the guy is like one of those fighters that I think you can find yourself betting against for some reason. And then he just pulls it out and
Yeah.
some submission out of nowhere. So it's just, I don't know, knocking off Frankie Edgar. So yeah, that's this weekend. Also this weekend you have Lomachenko fighting on ESPN. I'm gonna catch that. We're probably gonna watch both fights
Yeah. I'm
tomorrow.
excited. We'll watch a fight together.
Yeah, I'll
In a
probably
long time.
come over the house and have a couple of beers and then watch a night of fights. There's two exciting fights I'm looking forward to.
So we're gonna have like active mics so we can do a fight companion, but it's fine.
We might be able to. I could set it up real quick. Just straight up audio. We could do a straight up audio one.
Fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
See what
we'll
happens.
try it. We'll see what happens. Have you seen a fight on ESPN
Never.
on their app? It's like probably one. It's a
Did you get
crazy.
the Plus out? Do you have ESPN Plus?
No, this is just a straight
Oh.
ESPN app. This is not the plus.
Well, I use it to watch like basketball sometimes.
Yeah, but in the fights they have like 6 camera angles. Like
Oh, cool.
it's like you can have one main one, and then you can have like they have 6 camera angles. They have camera like in the corners, different angles. It's just like
You'd be your own director.
yeah. There's a lot going on. It's really cool to watch. Last one I saw was on there was the Lomachenko fight. It was on ESPN, and it was like I was like it was like I'm watching like in those TV production rooms,
Yeah.
where like all the screen like it looked like that. It was insane, but
That's crazy.
it should be interesting. So we'll catch that this weekend. So until then, glad to be back. It's been we don't really necessarily like taking these breaks.
Well, holidays are exceptional.
Holidays are around the holiday time. It is a little difficult to get around work. I'm gonna actually be going on a break from work soon, so we're gonna have a lot more time to do shows.
Yeah.
Plus, I also got a baby coming soon.
Yeah, man. Pretty soon.
So I may not. I mean, it's gonna be a a struggle, but my schedule clears up next weekend, and then from there on till like beginning of February, I
Lucky
think
you.
we're gonna have the ability to do a lot more shows, or at least get them
I
out
think
regularly.
Wednesday nights are premiere the best.
Yeah, if not do them regularly,
Yeah.
no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah.
So that's
for
it.
sure.
Looking for the next one. We'll catch you guys soon. MMAcomplex.com.
You can follow us on social media. You can follow me on Twitter, MMA Complex James, MMA Complex Josh, and you can follow the show on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And then I think pretty soon, Josh and I want to maybe do some kind of contest to give away some of our cool new shirts. So be on the lookout of that. Big fight this weekend. I'm really, really excited to come over and watch some fights with Josh, and we'll break it down for you guys on the next episode. So until then, enjoy the week, enjoy the fights.